Hey everyone, this is Jackals8. Welcome to the video and welcome to the channel. So anyway, this is a documentation of, I'm trying to remember the page number. I believe this is the 10th page. Let's just say it's the 10th page. It had a little bit of coffee stains splashed on it, so I'm going to fix that. So right now I'm just going to ink it in and not worry about the coffee stains. And you folks will see how I will fix it. So, this I did a couple days ago. This page, I was taking a little bit of a break from it because I was busy doing other stuff, and it was taking some time. So yeah. So I'm just like, fixing it up and inking it in. And I'm smudging it so it gives it a type of texture, but also so it makes it more in depth of the character. I'm also going outside the drawing some for adjustments, which I do sometimes in my art. Like, I go beyond the pencils because I want it I want it to look different to some degree. Like, I'll go outside the hair flow, the hair shape some, and just distort it to my liking. Timothy Irons has kind of like a punk rock style of his hair, and just wild. And I remember when I was drawing the character first time, I was like, whoa, and it's like, character, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. And then after doing quite a few sketches and character designs and fails, tries and fails, and some disappointments in what he looked like, I remember looking at some Nickelodeon characters, that we all come to love. And I looked at Jimmy Neutron, and I looked at Danny Phantom, and that kind of gave me the idea. I also looked at Wolverine Marvel character, and I looked at Ghost Rider. I looked at all the characters, the flame Ghost Rider has on his hair, and I compared all those styles, and I put it together, and I came up with Timothy Irons' hairstyle. I'm like, that's Timothy Irons right there. So over time, it really started to make sense what he was, what his, what into he looks like now. So this character took like 28 years in the making. Like, it took 28 years to thoroughly create him. And his mom, Rana, and, you know, everybody else, it took quite a time, quite a long time. And that's the thing, you know, when you're making characters, depending on your knowledge and what you're able to do and how you're able to do it, it can take longer than you want it, especially when you're procrastinating too much, which I am very guilty of. Procrastinating, it gets you nowhere, and then over time, it can really mess you up, and it sure did mess me up for quite some time. You know, it messed me up, and then I got sick and tired, and I decided, I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna get this page going. No, I'm gonna get this page going, and then, you know, and I kept the process up. So I'm just going along the panels and filling it in. I'm not using a ruler because my style is different. I don't always use a ruler for my style. I like to break the rules. I like to go outside straight lines if it's necessary. Now sometimes my pages will need straight lines, and I'm also learning that straight lines are very necessary because they can, you know, they're just necessary. According to Jonathan, my art teacher and bro, they are necessary. But with this page, I'm just going with the flow, you know, because I want it to look outlandish to an extent. Yeah, he's got that real heavy metal punk style. He's on the grind. I'm going outside the pencils again because I want to. I think I should do that. So yeah. Put some sweat here. Some tension in his face. There we go. Now let's put the bottom of the panel here. Let's do some lines for the wrinkles and the scribbles. This is my first official comic I've been trying to do for quite some time, so it's not going to be like 100% professional. It's not going to be 100% perfect all the way, but it is my first comic, so I will learn from my mistakes, which is the purpose, the sole purpose of making comic books, because we learn from our mistakes. We learn, and that's what I'm learning from this comic. The mistakes and the art and everything. That is the whole process, is to learn from this comic. Because this is the first comic I've ever done. Working on it, being successful. I've done other comic books too, don't get me wrong, but they just look too messed up. Too flat here, too flat there. No scenery of any sort, any kind whatsoever. No scene, no background. Just had too many lines like this, and it just, I had made many comics. First experience without experience, and it just wasn't really well done. And there was no story, and some of them was just violence. I remember one time I was making a monster superhero team, and so I changed them into a different type of team to where they're humans. And that is not in this comic, that is something else. But it took quite a long time to realize a monster team without a major story, just violence. It took a long time for me to discipline myself and say, hey man, that's not going to work. I listened to some of the Police today, the band, and I hadn't listened to it in quite some time. And when I listened to it, I was just so happy listening to it because in my childhood, my dad would let me listen to that type of music, and he still does. He listens to anything. But I love all those cool classic old bands, and that's the music I was raised on, for starters, originally. I was introduced at a very young age to the stuff my dad grew up with in the old days, and here I am, 28, but I still know all the old music, right? And I still like heavy metal, I still like the modern stuff, but I also like the old stuff, and sometimes I retreat from heavy metal to the calm, peaceful stuff, because sometimes you need to retreat, you need to take a break from that, and because sometimes it can overwhelm you a little bit with all that it can get negative sometimes, and then sometimes it's like, maybe I just want to listen to something else a little bit, Just doing the lettering. Well, what did you dream? Making a Russian accent. No, they're not Russian. I'm just having fun. What did you dream? I know a little bit of Russian. Not much. I only know one word. Niet. That's more of a German accent. I'm guessing a Russian accent would be like Niet. Yeah, that's better. In German, the German language I know more of. I love the German language because it has an angry feel to it, and I like to express anger with that language because it's, a better way to express it, I feel like. eyelashes. Some more lips. Just being blank. Doing some shading within the eyes, more depth. Shade in the neck some. Put in some clothes. Put in the chair again. Action lines. I always like to distort the reality to the shining of our eyes where the light hits. Where the light hits, because that way it's like metal. Instead of normal eye shining light, it's actual metal, and it brings it into a more of a liveliness in the eyes. I think I really do think that. And in manhwa, anime, depending on your style, and this is something I've learned a lot, what you want to do is show the eyes and the eye, the eyes and everything through the hair. It's depending on your style. Some people do it, some people don't, but I do that quite often with my stuff. And I like to put lines. Whoa, it wasn't showing on the video, but I like to put lines in here like that. I wish y'all saw me draw that. Sorry about that. I don't have a big camera, so yeah. And I just smudged it that way because I want to distort the depth of it. I'm gonna go over all this stuff with all the. You'll see what I mean. Loop there with the eye shading. I'm gonna put his eyebrow here. Okay. Do that. Action line. Okay. Now, this is dry. I don't want to use a dry Sharpie. No way. How's that? Yeah, this is good. And this will have everything pop out more, and it will cover the coffee stains more. The coffee stains on the page is very unfortunate, but I feel like once I do this, it'll give it a more professional feel to everything. Bless you. You're welcome, Father. Well, I don't think I'm gonna color the whole page with this. I think I'm just gonna like do it up to here. Yeah, to there. Where it gives it kind of an abstract feel to the page. Like it's light going to darkness, you know. Like that Slipknot song, "All Hope Is Gone." That was a dope song, you know. I think that was Psychosocial when they showed that, and it had, yeah, they also showed that on well, art fans showed that, and I feel like they showed that in mashups. Yeah, they did that mashups. I love Slipknot. They're an awesome band. Fix something here. Shape that in. Because that's right here is dark. Like this. His hair again. Okay. White out time.